Good morning, guys. It is Wednesday, or is it Thursday? I don't even know. I think it's, I gotta look because I'm like, oh man, what the heck's the date? It is Wednesday. Don't even know what day it is. Today is probably the most beautiful day here yet. It is a little windy, not terrible though. Certainly, you know, we can deal with it. Did talk to another excavator this morning who's going to be dropping by hopefully before we leave. So, you know, we're working on that. Also, Ginger has painted most of the kitchen. 2 coats, most of it. 2 coats where the cabinets are probably going to wind up going. So that's the important part. Y'all can see that. We had a couple issues last night. 2, actually. One was there's a train right across the street that went through at about 2:45 this morning. That woke both of us up. Hopefully it doesn't really go through very often. It does go through a bit, but usually it's during the day. The other issue is I had mentioned several times now about rattlesnakes and, you know, them being the biggest problem. So one of the things that we've done, and I was up a lot last night for this reason that I'm going to share with you guys, there is a huge mouse problem here. More so than the last couple nights. It's probably because we have food here. Obviously, because we're living here right now for the next week or so. It's kind of par for the course. The house has been vacant for a while. Not only that, but you know, it is on the mountain, and there is trash around here with all the debris from the construction. The day before we left New Jersey to come down here, Leroy was hit by a car right in front of our house, which is not a fun message to relay to you, but it did happen, and I did want to tell you now that we're talking about it. Jenkins is still there. We have people over at the house checking on him, feeding the animals, checking on the animals, checking on the place, so on and so forth, getting our mail. So, you know, Jenkins is getting some love in there. We might wind up replacing Leroy. I don't know yet. But I say all that to say that we used to have a mouse problem at our house in New Jersey, and the outside cats took care of that problem. In fact, it was probably a week or so before Leroy was killed. He was outside right in front of our screen door playing volleyball with Jenkins with a mouse. Cats are an awesome thing to have. Now, obviously, we can't have a cat here yet because, for one, there's a lot of construction going to be happening here. Again, because of the demolition, remaining demolition, as well as the excavating. But when we do move down here permanently, we will try to bring Jenkins. And we probably maybe bring another one along. We'll see how that goes. Getting a lot of stuff burned up. This pile here is basically decimated. My goal for today, and it's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so we should be able to do it. My goal for today is to get this pile done. You know, and move on to stuff under here, under this carport, and also get stuff in the front done. So this is one thing that will go to scrap. This huge, and it's heavy, this huge AC air conditioning unit, window unit, that will go to scrap. This door will go to scrap. This stuff will be burned. But this kind of stuff, there's a lot of metal over here, a lot of siding. This kind of stuff is all going to go. Having this creek here, you know, this holler as they call it, is a blessing and a curse. It is a blessing because right now it's pretty dry, so it's not really a thing right now, and it's actually not really cleaned out, so you know, there's that. But under normal circumstances, if you go up past that tree there, you go up a little further, you'll actually have water right now. But if you go up that way, okay, guess what, guys? You are going to have drinkable water. It is a curse because it does draw critters, it does draw snakes, it does draw mice, because there's water so close to the house. I want to kind of just talk to you guys about buying a fixer-upper versus buying a piece of land and putting a house on it, or tearing a house down and starting over. This has been a question that Ginger and I have asked ourselves for a while. We obviously bought this house as a fixer-upper. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, yes, the answer is always a fix. I think that it really depends on your situation, but I want to kind of give you guys some insight on a couple things. Number one, first and foremost, if you do like we did, you know, and you're not able to actually watch this project on a regular basis, you need to have someone that you trust. You know, obviously 600 miles away, we're not able to watch the project as it's going on because we're not here. So we were lucky enough to find a really great contractor who has really helped us out a lot. He's the guy who lent us this our propane heater for our little stay here, so we can actually stay here on this trip. So the first thing is, it doesn't matter how easy or how hard your remodel looks. If you're doing it remotely, you need to have a good contractor slash project manager, because that's basically what they're doing. If you can monitor it, you still need a good contractor. In our case, it is a very, very expensive remodel, as you guys could probably guess. When you guys are going into this kind of thing with this, you know, large amounts of money, you need to make sure that this person or this company is insured, licensed. Normally, guys, I'm not a licensed kind of person. Normally, I don't care, you know, for fixing small things. But, you know, you are trusting this person with a lot of money, and you're trusting this person with your house, with, in a lot of cases, maybe even your forever home. So with that, you really do need to do your due diligence to make sure that whoever you're hiring is on the money. You know, again, you need to make sure that, you know, this person can do what they're saying. Even if you are at your location or drivable distance to your location, you need to make sure the contractor's legit. You know, if you are planning on something being done on Monday and you're going to stop there Monday after work, you know, and you get there Monday after work and, you know, the house is a mess and they tore out stuff they weren't supposed to, and you know, you need to make sure that stuff's right. And I'm not going to tell you my contractor's perfect. He's not. There's some things that I've had to fix. So I'm not going to tell you he's perfect, but for everything that we've asked him to do and the amount of time he's done it, guys, it's pretty good. It's very good. We're happy with it. So the other thing that you need to take into account is what do you want done to the house? What do you want done to it? What do you want done to the property, right? Because in our case, it wouldn't have mattered if we tore this place down and started over. We would still want a highway to the hill up there. It wouldn't have mattered if we, you know, tore this down. I mean, we still would have wanted that done. So you can't factor in that kind of cost. You know, that is a cost that wouldn't be affected. You have to take into account, you know, and well, let me say this. You also have to decide like what you want, right? So like what we could have done was we could have, you know, torn this house down, put a trailer here. It is absolutely legal to live in a trailer, and I mean like a camper trailer. It is totally legal to live in one of those in this area. So, you know, we had thought, oh, you know, like 25 grand or whatever, you know, tear the house down and get a camper. Well, you got to look at that kind of long term. Long term, that's not really, I mean, look, you guys can disagree with me on this, but long term, I mean, if you're going to be buying a camper to live in, period. In other words, you know, live in perpetuity. There's only a few brands of campers that are quality enough to do that, because you got to figure when they're making campers, they're only expecting that you're using it, you know, living in it, what, 2 weeks out of the year? They're not expecting you to live in it years on end. 365 days a year. For years on end. They're not expecting that to be the case. So, you know, you do have to understand that. And I will say that campers, or trailers, trailers in general, like double wides and stuff, they're fine. I'm not knocking them. We had thought about going that way. We wanted something that was going to last. And to be honest, again, this remodel is not cheaper than that option. You know, we are spending more money than we would if we did it this way. That leads to number 3. It's not all about the money, guys. It's not all about the money. You have to look at what you're getting for that money. You have to look at, yes, calculate it up. Yes, figure out what you want. But it's not all about the money. It's not all about, well, what's the cheapest option? You know, certainly explore all your options. Explore the expensive. Explore the cheap. Find what you want out of it. The point of this really is just to kind of give you a little bit of motivation, shall I say, and to not give up. You know, these tasks, doing these houses, and if you are remodeling them, or even if you're building a new one, it's a stressful situation. So this is really, if you're in the process, or if you're thinking about doing it, you just kind of got to push. You know, and some days I wake up and it's like, you know, I'll get a text from somebody, or when we're in Jersey, I get a text from somebody and say, oh, this project was worse than we thought, or we had to do this, or we had to do that. It can be depressing, but I am very thankful for the good days where it's like, hey, we got this done. Don't give up. It is worth it to get your dreams, accomplish your dreams. It is worth it to accomplish your dreams and get to where you feel that God is leading you. And so with that, guys, I'm going to cut this short, but you know, essentially there's a lot of things to think about if you are going to be remodeling, renovating, buying a fixer-upper, buying land. Lots of things, even more than what I mentioned in this, but I just really kind of wanted to scratch the surface with the basic things. All right, guys, thank you all. Have a nice day, and I will see you in the next one.